November the 30th, 2010. How on my appropriate tie for today? Almost wasn't going to do any more of these webcasts. I do look at the numbers to see what, how many of you watch them. And I try to figure out what interests you and what doesn't interest you. And of course, the intent is to entertain and educate. And if I'm not doing that, I'm doing it for free, so I'm, kind of wasting my time and yours. So, but a friend called me and said, "How come you haven't done an investment webcast lately?" And I really appreciated the fact that she noticed it was gone. She's on my list of people that get notified of anything to do with the financial industry. But so I'll do a little bit. I'm also going to do another webcast. I got a call from another friend who said, "How come you look so good?" And she's in healthcare and skin industry and stuff like that. Has been for many years. Known me for many years, and hasn't listened to me for many years. But all of a sudden, it's like I'm Dorian Gray. I'm like the portrait of Dorian Gray. They're aging and I'm not. They think I know something. Well, I'm going to do a webcast on that. So look for that. It'll be a separate link and a separate playlist from the investment one, and I'll talk about it. It's been a number of years in healthcare, and I'm not a physician. Don't usually listen to it. All right. The Porsche 918 Spyder Hybrid. Whoa. What a car. That might have been enough to get me to do one of these anyway. I'm posting a link about the car, a YouTube link on the car. It is a 368 gigawatt. Gigawatt? Is this Back to the Future too? All right, 500 horsepower. Is that better? It's a hybrid. 4 electric motors. Now, electric motors develop full torque at 0 RPM. You hit the gas, and they got the torque going. This thing's going to come out of the box like a cat that's been set on fire. Like when they put that jet engine in Miss Budweiser, they had to throttle it back because they were afraid it smoked the other boats so bad that they were afraid that they would bar the thing from racing. And so they held it back, just let it barely win for a while. This Porsche is going to be like that. And it's appropriate to talk about it on this day because this is the day that the Chevy Volt goes into production. Yay! They surveyed and they found out that 7% of Americans think would be interested in owning an electric car. 7%. Write that number down. Write today's date down. Because I'm going on record right now saying full of hooey. Okay? They're going to be standing in line to get these things. OPEC's going to see to it that they're going to be standing in line to get these things. And the Razer Hybrid Drive van. Razer, I like Razer Corporation. I've lost a lot of money on it, but I like it. RZ is the stock symbol. They have developed an electric drive that they put in fleet vehicles, pickup trucks, panel trucks, things like that, and it gets over 100 miles per gallon. And they're just Pacific Gas and Electric has ordered a fleet of these things from them. They'll probably partner up with, they're partnering up with all the automotive companies. So they will probably, I don't know. Anyway, I've told Explorer Vans, who built my last van, not really, my last van was a Toyota Sienna, but the last custom van, and I said, build one of these things and I'll buy it. And I'm not buying one until something like that is available. I'm not interested in 350 cubic inch. The one I've got has been running on supplemental hydrogen that I make myself on board from water and electricity since 2007. You want to do a project like this? You want to fund it and, a manufacturing project? I'll turn over all my expertise in that field to you. But I can tell you, you can make hydrogen at home. And we can power, we can use it in vehicles. They run cleaner, they run smoother. God knows if we release oxygen atmosphere, how bad that would be. Oxygen is the byproduct of these things. So, at any rate, flipping houses is back. Now, I put both of my sons in real estate. I paid for their education. I paid for their license. I got one of them wanted nothing. He just wanted to do nothing else. He wanted to do this. The other one, the younger one, Stephen, who's here in Tallahassee with me, wanted to be a lawyer. He wanted to get, and it's going to take a long time to get his law license. He's working for Keller Williams as a realtor here in Tallahassee because there's a lot of law, a lot of contract work, stuff like that in real estate, and might be a lot of money in it too. If you want to get, these foreclosed houses and things like that, my sister is a realtor here in Tallahassee, Robin St. Ange. There's a link down below this webcast that you can click on and go to our MySpace page and send her an email. Tell her you want her to find stuff for you. She's not going to make a lot of money. Stephen is here in Tallahassee with me. He will do the same thing. He works for Keller Williams here. He will find you properties and help you get in on some of these deals. Alex St. Ange. Alex is in Naples, Florida. His mother's in Naples, Florida. So is Uncle John, his mother's brother. Now, Uncle John was a vice president with Goldman and Sachs. I watched to see where Uncle John went after he left Goldman and Sachs. Went into real estate. He went in before the bust. He stayed in it. He owns the Realty World franchise for the state of Florida. And my oldest son, Alex, works for him. So I put them in real estate because I believe in it so wholeheartedly. They won't make a lot of money on you if you work with them. But I'm hoping they will make a friend and you'll come back. And you'll bring other people back. And if you need to sell a property, not everybody knows about these foreclosures and these sweetheart deals that are pennies on the dollar. So they'll do a conventional kind of a listing for you and help move that property. I'm betting that we can do a better job than somebody else. All right. End of the year strategies. I've got to talk to you a little bit about end of the year strategies too. Now, it's the end of the year, so sell your losses so that it offsets your gains. And be careful not to sell anything that's going to chunk out a huge dividend at the end of the year, because, or wait till after the ex-dividend date to do that. And then sell it, take the loss. You'll probably have a little bigger loss right after the ex-dividend date, but you'll make a few bucks there. So don't make any of those kinds of mistakes. The stroke, a little update on the stroke. I did, I had a stroke last summer, and my brain wasn't working after the stroke. I had friends that said to me, "How did you know you had a stroke?" Well, all my years in healthcare, I recognize the symptoms of a stroke. When you're laying on the ground and you can't get up and you're a babbling idiot, you kind of figure you've had a stroke. What causes a stroke? A sudden disruption to the blood flow to your brain. Well, usually it's a blood clot. About 4 days before that, I had a dog bite. The dog attacked me while I was on vacation, and I was partying the night before, and that might even had something to do with it releasing the blood clot, and the blood clot went to my brain, and I had a stroke. So, at any rate, mystery solved. Want to give you one stock tip: VTA. It's a real estate investment trust. It is about $12 right now. It pays a monthly dividend. Love monthly dividends. And it's at about 8.5% is the dividends. A little over $1 a year. The reason I mention it, they're investing heavily in elder care facilities, hospitals, things like that. So that's probably where that's going to probably be worth more too. So look into it. One thing I didn't mention about the water and the fuel is that if you turn water into fuel, well, we gotta only 1% of the water on this planet is drinkable. The rest of it we have to purify and stuff like that. Now, if we go to water instead of oils and fuels and stuff like that, of course, water will go up in price. And what are we going to use for a substitute when we run out of that? Who's buying up the water rights? Nestle. Nestle's buying up the water rights, and they're a Swiss company. So, not necessarily recommending it as an investment, but I am recommending it as a hedge. If you're worried about the dollar, Nestle's a Swiss company and a multi-conglomerate all over the world. They got, Nestle's of India, Nestle's of this, Nestle's of that, and they're all separate companies. So, at any rate, that might be a good hedge bet for you. VTA. Stay hungry, my friend. And now, back to you.